Hey everybody, it's Aidan here from the Personal Growth Company. Right now in this video, I'm going to take you through the main tabs and the main features of our brand new tool, the Automated Personal Growth Dashboard. Now, this tool, unlike some of our others, has been built in Notion. Notion is incredibly versatile, it's incredibly powerful, and it is insanely easy to use, particularly if you're starting with a template that has been laid out like this one in order to cut down on repetition and let you do more in a lot less time. So we open it up and we've got our dashboard. You can add a picture of yourself there. You can add your name. You can add, what date you're starting. You can put any text you like in here, any content you like. This is just what I've chosen. We've got our navigation here that can link us to all the main tools within the dashboard. We've got our top level goals. Now, again, you can put whatever you want in there. That's what I've chosen. And we've got a jotter just to get down the information that doesn't fit in necessarily anywhere else, but you still want to get it down while it's in your mind. I've also got this cool little button here that hides anything over 2 days old, unless you selected the don't hide item here, just so that it doesn't get too cluttered. Our homepage hub is just an overview of everything that is everywhere. Now, this looks very, very dense, very, very, maybe even intimidating. I assure you it's really not. So, and I will explain why. This is really just an overview of the other tabs. So I think the best thing to do right now is to take you through those so you can understand what is in each one. We've got our objectives, which is where we set the goals that we want to achieve. So, for instance, the sample ones here, develop a broad understanding of marketing theories and best practices. That aligns with the top level objective I would have mentioned there on page 1, which is to become better at marketing overall. We've got learn how to use Logic Pro X for audio recording, increase personal productivity, learn gardening as a meditative slow skill, etc. Now you can set your progress here. You can write down some notes on why you want to do this, but you can also change this to anything you like. This is an open text field. You can add as many open text fields or remove them or whatever you want to do. The key information is really just the name of this objective. And if you want then these drop downs, that can help you to tag them and just, see what's what. You can also click into any of these if you want to just add some notes inside the tool, if you want to make it a little bit more detailed and not take up all the space on the main table. Second, we've got our reading and content repository. Now it is in timeline view. I am going to go into the different ways that you can view this content shortly, but here, these are the items that we want to read, and we can write down the title, we can write down the author, we can categorize them in all sorts of different ways in terms of our progress, in terms of like how intense it is, so we could choose what's right for us at a given time. We can pick, estimated reading time, our schedule, when we want to start, when we want to finish, and all sorts of things. We can get as much information down as we like. But again, all you really need here is the title of the book. This is to document the things that you need to read, you need to review, you need to watch in order to get you where you need to be with those objectives. We've got our skills database. This is a little bit different in that it's actually specific skills. So for instance, in order to become a really, really good marketer, I need to, have skills around understanding consumer behavior, marketing campaign development, ethnographic research. For Logic Pro, I need to be able to learn to use the interface. So these are essentially tangible documentable items that we want to be able to do. We can set our current proficiency, we can set our target proficiency, and again, we can write down other notes that give us context around that. For these, I've actually added in a more fleshed out template in here so that you can write down, again, as much or as little as you want in order to make sure that you remember these things as you learn them. I will talk shortly about how they then in turn are linked back to our objectives and back to our skills and our reading and indeed our self-education curriculum. This is kind of like the reading and the content repository, only this is more focused on courses, things you want to learn, things you want to kind of maybe do over a longer period of time. They can be online courses, they can be paid courses, they can be college courses, they can be in-person university courses, whatever you like. But when you sit down and say, in order to achieve X, I need to learn, A, B, and C, and maybe I can't learn these from books, maybe this is something I need to do in course form, this is where you can jot these down. And finally then, we've got our Insights Hub, and this is where the power of the tool really comes into its own, because as you're synthesizing and pulling together all of this information from different sources, you're going to have these aha moments. You're going to have these moments where you realize that having read something about the technical elements of Logic Pro in a book and having seen something about the creative elements of music composition somewhere else, you might pull that all together into, for instance, as I have here, if I can crack EQ, equalization, I can crack 90% of mixing. These are the moments, these are the things that you haven't been explicitly told. These are the insights that you've synthesized together from varied sources. And one of the things that has popped up so much in the research I've been doing recently into this area is this idea that synthesized information, interlinked information, is incredibly powerful when it comes to recall and helping our brain to essentially write elements into our long-term memory. So they're the different hubs, or the different databases, the different tabs that we have in here. Each of those then can be viewed in different ways. Now, this is something you only have to do once, right? I've added a lot of the templates already, but for instance, with the reading and content repository, once this information is input here, you can look at it in very many different ways. So we've got this ability to look at, this is on my hit list, this is currently reading, say I finish this, I can drag it over here, that then will be updated over here. And then I can bring it back and I can do whatever I want in here. Now I've got like a more compact version of this so that you can just kind of see it all in one go. This one is split into the different objectives so that you can kind of separate out the different topics. If you've added start and end dates, you can look at this in timeline form as well so that you can see, what it is you're going to be reading at a given time. Each of the tabs has these different databases, different views, and you can also, thanks to the power of Notion, add other ones in very, very easily. In Calendar, in Board, which is Kanban board, which we saw there a moment ago, Timeline. You can even add another table and, maybe sort it differently or maybe filter it so that, for instance, current proficiency, you're only focused on the ones that are 1 or 2 star in terms of current proficiency. And you can rename that then proficiency view, or low proficiency view. There we go, committed to the bit. Then, so that's the views, right? And how is it then that when I selected that view that filtered them by objective, that I was able to know what was linked to, which of the books, for instance, were linked to the various objectives? That is because in every single row here, I'll just go to the table view to show you, I can select here which objectives any given item is. So for instance, marketing management, let's just pretend that we could actually add this as well. This would also be relevant to develop project management skills, right? Now, when I go back to this objective in here, develop project management skills, and I go across to books, we can see that marketing management has been added in here. And I can remove it from here, I can remove it from the other side. But this creates a two-way sync. Now, every item in the database can be synced to any other item in the database. We can sync our books. We can, connect our books to our insights, into our courses, into our skills. And then if we go into that skill, we can see, I can click onto it from here and I can see what books it's linked to. I can see what insights it's linked to. And again, it's this idea of pulling together the information so that even if you're reviewing things in a few months and you're looking at the objective and you're able in one glance, in one filter view, to see all the different books and the courses and everything that you did, that you read, that were related to that. You can automate this in a very large way using roll-ups. Some templates of those are built into it already, so that as soon as you select, for instance, a book that pertains to a certain objective, all the courses and all the skills that are linked to that same objective will immediately appear up there. You can even filter those so that only the ones that you haven't read yet or the ones that you are currently reading or whatever appear as well. So that's the tool in a nutshell. It is built on Notion. Notion is extremely easy to use. It is extremely user-friendly and it's extremely powerful. It is able to do things. It is able to store information in a way that really, really mimics the way in which the human brain does it, and in a way that boosts, long-term memory, that lets you help remember things for longer, that lets you embed them better, and ultimately will be a massive aid in your journey towards personal growth and learning and development. Hope that makes sense. Thank you very much for watching.